and welcome to Two Gray Goatees and a Whistle. I am your host, Coach Eddie, and joined again by the coach's wife, Amanda.
Hello.
How's it going?
Great.
Going great. That's good to hear. So we were pretty busy this weekend. We made a trip to Boise, and we got to watch some banana ball on the blue, which was pretty unique and pretty fun and hot.
Yeah, it was a little warm.
It was warm, and
it was triple digits.
Triple digits. It was.
That just wasn't helped by the amount of smoke that's in our air right now.
Yeah, the smoke's bad right now. So they didn't help. But I have to say that the games that we've gone to, they still do an amazing job entertaining people, and it was a fun game. And
yeah, I don't know if I would care to watch it on a football field again. It was unique to do it on the the blue turf of Boise State, and so that's always kind of a different vibe, anyways, just because it is such a world known venue or arena. But it's not set up like a baseball field.
Yeah.
So there was a couple blind spots. The right field was rather short. So just little logistic things like that. But it didn't take away from, I don't think it took away from anything to a point where I felt like it wasn't a good experience.
No, and this is multiple football stadiums they've played in, and understanding that you're going to have a short field one way or the other, left or right, wherever they set it up. But yeah, I think the only thing that I would say that was a struggle was we were on the first level, but because of the pyros or whatever, the little you couldn't see home plate, and at least without looking at the camera.
Logistics of a football field is that you are a ways off the field anyways because of how many football players you have, how many staff members you have. You have all this stuff that sits between you and the actual playing field that you don't have in a baseball.
Yeah.
And so in a baseball field, that space that was between us and where they played on the football field would have been your dugouts and your things that are built so that they're not interfering with your line of sight or but it's just the logistics of it.
Yeah, and it is. No. And I thought, they're always up in the crowd. They're always, it's very, the interactive part of it never changed. It was fun baseball. You saw the flips, the catches, the stuff that they're known for, the after party, the pregame, all that. And, kudos to the banana ball staff, and that includes people behind the scenes, they had to deal with that heat too, just as much as, the people that come to watch, and, especially the mascots. Yes.
You didn't see them as long as in as long as stints, which I 100% understood why. Sitting like after the fact and, on social media and stuff, and we follow certain people and certain things, and so you see things related to that. And so I think what bothered me the most was the amount of people that complained about the heat, and there was over the course of 2 nights of the 80,000+ people involved in this, there was about 150 people that they had to address heat stroke, heat stress, that kind of stuff with. And people were complaining about that, and they were like, well, the venue should have done this different, or the banana ball should have done this different. And here's my comment to that. And you can take this as you want, and you can, and I'm not at all downplaying heat stroke or heat stress. I'm not at all downplaying that, because it's a real legit thing. But you got to look at and consider the fact that when it's above 90 degrees, 90-something% of us are sitting in AC. We're not acclimated to it. Secondly, everybody has weather reports. Everybody knows what the weather and the temperatures are going to be. Mm-hmm. And they know what a venue and sports event entails as far as physical movement, being in a crowd, you're on paved areas, parking lots that retain the heat. And you cannot blame a venue and a sports program for your lack of preparation. And I'm not trying to downplay or lighten the fact that people got sick. But what I am saying is you should have known what you were getting into. And do things still happen? Yes. Is that the fault of the Boise State venue or the banana ball? No.
The only thing I could say of that is, first of all, the banana balls have nothing to do with the policies that go on at the stadium. That is completely up to the stadium and the college and the people responsible for that building.
Yes.
So first of all, can't blame them. The water situation that was going on, they had a hydration station. I think that Albertson Stadium, the people in charge of that, they underestimated that part with the people because they didn't.
Well, the amount of people,
they didn't really have. They had some shade, but it was very minimal. And a lot of people were up against the building, stuff like that. The water part was they did have a water station, and the water station. The only problem on the first day is that the water cups they're using were little cone things you put like a snow cone on, and you get 2 gulps, and then the 2 times, a couple of times went by there, they were completely empty, and you can't bring water bottles or anything like that in. So you have to go wait in line for 20, 30 minutes to get a bottle of water. That's $5. And so I could see people's frustration. The next day, though, I think when they realized how many people were the first day. Well, but the thing is, what the people are frustrated about the accessibility to water. And it doesn't matter how much you prepare, you're still going to want water. And that's the problem. I think that's the issue that
but also
they need
think
to
about
take care of.
How often does Boise State house 40,000 people 2 nights in a row in that type of environment?
And that weather? That's really, well, yeah, and that's some of it too.
Because even when football starts, yes, you're going to have hot days, but their games are in the evenings.
Sometimes, yeah.
And I'm guaranteeing you, they're not selling out like that every night.
Yeah.
So anyways, that was just my only, it was, I guess, I mean, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. And again,
people
I'm
are going to
not
complain.
trying to, I know, and people complain. I'm not trying to lighten the fact that people had medical problems happening because of the heat. What I am going to say, though, is that you as a person need to understand how any venue works as far as the cost of things, and that it states on their whole venue, you cannot bring in this, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. And you know what you're acclimated to if you sit in AC all summer long.
Yep. Yeah,
I don't know.
No.
That's my only complaint.
Right.
It's just that the complaints from other people.
Yeah, they didn't
about
quite.
that. I was just like, this, I would say, not all of it, because, you never know how your body's going to react to a certain overstimulus and heat like that. But I would say that probably 85% of that could have been prevented.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah.
But anyways, that's it. It was fun.
It was fun.
And we got to take some people that had never been before.
Yeah, and that was fun. Yeah, and our winners from the drawing from the Colston Loveland golf tournament, we got to take them, Greg and Michelle, and they had a lot of fun. They had a blast. I know when we took the people that went up the day before us, her family, they had a blast. So yeah, it's just fun, and so I'm glad they got to enjoy it. All right, so we're going to talk about what inspired for this episode was the fact that we did go watch something unique and a very unique venue, because Albertson Stadium, Boise State Stadium, is one of the most unique college stadiums in the world, in the country. That blue turf, it's special. It's unique.
It is really neat and stuff, but like I think of like Eastern Washington State University.
Eastern Washington, yeah.
They have red turf, and it is red.
Yeah.
So they're not the only ones.
But they
are a bigger school. They are a bigger school.
But they started it.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm just like, at this point, it's like, okay.
Yeah, and there's a couple other places that have.
And now College of Idaho has a purple baseball field, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm not even a purple person, but it's really pretty.
Yeah.
And I'm sure pretty isn't what they were going for.
But no, it's unique and it's cool. So
it's cool what they can do.
But so this episode is if you only could visit 10 sporting venues. So this is kind of coming from ChatGPT. I popped in a question like, what are if you could bucket list of places to go watch a sporting event, what do you got?
So nothing to do with the sport. It has to do with the venue, like
the venue and the history behind it and the sport. And this is going to have different sports and some of these I was looking at, I was like, yeah, I definitely would love to go there just because of the atmosphere and everything that it brings with it and the history behind it.
So like there's something unique about it or something.
Yeah, there's something special about it.
They offer something.
Yeah. So, we're talking about 100,000 fans singing a song together, or, the uniqueness of the ballpark wherever. Yeah. But there's some places that are just better than others that are just, they're known for it.
But I know, but I'm just saying, I don't think that's I don't know. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, dang. Here we go. All right.
It's not unique.
Number 10 on the list is Augusta National Golf Club, where the Masters are held, the Masters tournament for golf. You're looking, it's a beautiful place, and the pictures and watching TV, I guess, doesn't do it justice to how wonderful this place is. And, it's one of the hardest tickets in sports to get. Like I said, is very beautiful. The course is just amazing. It's a tradition unlike any other, and the crowd, I guess, just echoes throughout the whole property. I guess it's pretty amazing. So that's number 10 would be Augusta.
Are we supposed to rank these, or this is just
no? This is just a list, and so if
that would be my number 10.
Yeah, right. Okay. I mean, and I'm not a golf person either, but there's some things that are just they have history and tradition.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody said, "Hey, you want to go to the Masters?" I'd probably, yeah. So,
no, probably not. I think I'm good.
Number 9, Indianapolis Speedway, where the Indianapolis 500 is. Okay. Obviously, there's history there. It's the largest sporting venue in the world. Over 300,000 fans attend.
Holy crap!
More than 100 years of racing history.
That's cool. See, that's cool. And I'm not saying the Masters, I'm sure has. I mean, they all these, I'm sure, have insane history. But 300,000 people is insane.
It's a lot of people.
Holy crap. Just to watch him make another left turn.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and fun fact, enough seating to fit in multiple NFL stadiums, because a lot of NFL stadiums are maybe 60,000, 70,000, 50,000.
Your racetrack is a lot bigger than a football field.
Right, but still 300,000 people. No, that's insane.
I wasn't arguing.
Yeah. Number 8, Wimbledon, center court. So when Wimbledon, obviously tennis, grass court. There's multiple courts there.
I thought their courts were clay. Or
Wimbledon is grass. Yeah, there is clay courts. There's some places that do clay courts, but Wimbledon is grass. And center court.
Not a really big tennis. I mean, I've watched occasionally, like Wimbledon on TV, because it is like the
event.
Super Bowl of,
Yeah.
And there's some hella athletic talent there going on.
Yeah, it'll be something to see. I mean, it's the oldest tennis tournament. All the players have to wear white. The royal family.
Tradition behind it is cool.
Yeah, it's strawberries and cream tradition. Yeah. It's
a whole other level of class.
Yeah, no, it would be.
Never been at.
No. I'm sure it's pretty spendy to get to that thing. I don't want to know what the price is. Number 7, Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin is number 7. Obviously, the history behind Green Bay is amazing. We can talk about it.
Excited to go see this.
Yeah, by the time this episode is aired, we're going to see it.
Yes,
it's going to be pretty cool. And I am not a Green Bay Packer fan, but
the history behind it.
The history of, I mean, I'm a football fan, and that's history.
Yeah,
and so being able to experience that, it's a community-owned team.
I think what I like about the idea behind Packers and Lambeau Field is how they have kept it smaller. They've kept it to the fans.
Yep.
It's kind of it's not quite so corporate seating as some of the other.
No.
But I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So our coach Gonzo and Cindy are taking us to.
Yeah, we get to go check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a lot of fun, and we'll talk about it here in a couple of weeks about our trip there. Yeah. It's a community-owned team. We talked about, it's the only team that you can get shares in. Frozen tundra history. I mean, traditionally because of the snow and frozen weather. Tailgating like in no other place. I guess it's amazing. Fans welcome visiting supporters, and that's the thing that I've heard from multiple people that are Packer fans that have been to games. You can show up in your opposing team gear, and it's not the heckling really. A lot of times they're very...
From what we've been told by friends of ours who have gone to games there, and yes, they are Packer fans, but it seems as though it's more geared toward we are all going to get together to celebrate the sport that we love.
Yep.
And we hope we win.
But
it's about the love of the game versus I'm going to kick your butt.
Yeah.
It seems to be.
Right.
We haven't experienced it.
We haven't experienced it, but I was told, wear my Seahawks gear, and people are just going to basically, because the Green Bay is known to be small talk, and, they'll strike up a conversation with you in that town. They'll just talk to you and say, hey, so why you support whatever? And you just have a conversation with them about it. So yeah. If you get a chance, they always say try to attend a December game in the snow, a night game in particular, I guess. This is supposed to be pretty special. Number 6, Churchill Downs, Kentucky Derby. Yeah, that's...
As a kid growing up, my grandparents, and I don't know why, I don't know the reason behind it, but they always watched the Kentucky Derby. I don't know why. But as a kid, I always remember thinking that was the coolest thing to see on TV.
Yeah.
Was like just, all the women in their hats and their
the hats,
this and that, and the horses and the,
Mm-hmm.
As a kid, I thought it was really cool.
Yeah,
it would be cool.
It would, yeah, just to experience something like that. I mean, yeah.
Again, I have no idea. My grandparents were not even from that area. It's not like they didn't raise horses by any. I mean,
No.
I don't know why it was always something.
I don't know.
It's that time of year, but
yeah, maybe. Yeah. All right, we are talking number 5 now. Fenway Park. This would be definitely bucket list. I am not at any means a Red Sox fan, but there's a few baseball stadiums that would be one of them to check out. Would be Fenway. Yeah, the Green Monster. I mean, obviously the tradition.
It's cool when they have something that's become a landmark.
Yep.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, it's the oldest Major League Baseball stadium. Every seat has history in it, and your bucket list would be to watch the Red Sox versus the Yankees. That would be.
I want them both to lose. I don't know.
Well, and me being a Toronto fan, I definitely would rather just watch them play Toronto. But I mean, yeah, their legendary rivalry, that would be the game to watch. Number 4, Notre Dame Stadium. So now we're talking college football.
Yeah.
Notre Dame obviously has the history, and there's so much tradition. Touchdown Jesus. You got the player walk tradition everywhere. One of the college football's most iconic cathedrals is there. Next one. Okay, we are going to talk number 3, another football stadium, Michigan. Okay, and so Michigan and Ann Arbor, the Big House is what it's known for. It's the largest stadium in the United States, holds 107 fans.
I was going to say, it's like just like stupid massive.
Yeah, 107 fans, 100 atmosphere, obviously. And obviously that'd be one I would want to go check out too, because that's, like in Michigan. This one is also on one of my bucket lists, Wrigley Field in Chicago, where the Cubs play. That one looks just absolutely amazing. Same thing, a lot of deep history there. The ivy covered walls, brick.
I think that's something that my dad, huge baseball fan. Like, growing up, we watched all the baseball movies. He was a sorry, but he's a Giants fan. Boo. But he always baseball. He really enjoyed baseball. And even as even though I grew up in that environment, I like to watch baseball and I like to play softball, but it wasn't but there are certain places that even if you don't follow a sport, you've heard of. And there's a reason for that. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah. And, you got the neighborhood people, you can see in the background, you can see the buildings behind that, the apartments and stuff. Day baseball, catch an afternoon game, because for the longest time, they were one of the last places to put lights on. So, and the last one, Wembley Stadium in England, okay, for soccer. So, so we're going to England, and being Ted Lasso fans, they talked about going to the Wembley, and they played a game on there, and England's national team's there. Anytime the NFL goes over to England to play a game, a lot of times they'll play on that field. Concerts, imagine 90,000 fans singing Sweet Caroline, and then God Save the Queen, or Save the King before the kickoff. Yeah. So that's your number.
We have not done any of these.
No, we're going to get to do one. We're going to
get to go do one.
One, but I do think so. Out of that top 10 that I mentioned, what would be at least 1 or 2 that you would think you would like to do?
Fenway Park.
Okay.
Kentucky Derby. Those are probably the only 2 that I have at some point in my life, or known about throughout my life.
Yeah.
That I have. And I think they would all offer something really cool, and the experience would be really cool. But I think those are probably the 2 that I would, at some point in my life, would like to actually go.
Yeah.
And then the soccer stadium.
Yeah. Yeah. Wembley. So for me, Wembley would be up there. I think that'd be a cool place to go watch a game. If you're ever going to go.
Because we've always talked about going and actually
watch a game,
experiencing the history side of soccer.
Yeah.
Football, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Outside of the U.S.
Yep. Yeah. And for me, that Wembley would be up there, and then going to Wrigley Field would be fun, and so would Fenway. For me personally, it's not on here, but going to Toronto, we did watch a Blue Jays game in there.
Yeah, but that's for the sport. That's
for the sport. That's for my team. But as far as, venue. So honorable mentions that were brought up: Pebble Beach, Daytona International Speedway, Madison Square Garden, Yankee Stadium, Beaver Stadium, where Penn State plays, especially when they have whiteout, Dodger Stadium, Soldier Field in Chicago, the Rose Bowl, Watson, in Oregon, the Garden in Boston were just a few. And then, so yeah, that's it for that segment. Let's move on to our next segment. Okay. This is Would You Rather?
Okay.
Youth Sports Road Trip Edition.
Okay.
So, when we are going to talk about traveling, think about when you traveled when you were younger, your coach. So you travel and do stuff traveling with your team when you go do events.
Like when I played high school sports?
When you played high school sports and as you coach, right? You got track meets, you're on the bus, you're doing stuff. So as a coach or as a player, you could relate to some of these. So you ready? Okay, number one. All right. Would you rather ride a bus for 6 hours with the entire team or drive 6 hours with only your coach and one teammate?
Like in a car?
Yeah. You drive 6 hours with
I'd rather
only your coach and one teammate, or 6 hours with the entire team on a school bus.
I'd rather be in a car.
Okay.
And it has nothing to do with who I'm with. 6 hours in a car would be 100 times better than 6 hours on a bus.
Yeah.
I get I get sick on the bus. Even like when we go to like Murtaugh and stuff, I get sick every time. I have to like really focus on, like I have to like sit in the aisle and stare out the front, and 6 hours would kill me.
Okay.
Those are like 45 minutes.
All right,
and I'm like, by the time I get there, I'm like, I feel gross.
So follow up to this is which trip would create better memories though? What, riding with your teammates on the bus or with just a coach and a teammate?
So like as in high school, I always rode the bus. Everybody rode the bus more so than kids do now, like especially going home. I just sat in the seat and kept to myself. I could care less what everybody else was doing. I really could have. And as a coach now, I have to pay attention to what they're doing, but I also am like, just sit down and be quiet. Like I don't need drama or BS even then I think I'd rather be and have that and if you wanted to have the conversation, you could still have a conversation. Yeah. But you could totally just turn the radio on and not.
Okay.
Like I don't yeah.
Follow up to that one. Which would test your patience more?
The bus.
The bus. Yeah, totally.
I love my kids, but there are times where I'm like, what the hell are you thinking? Okay,
here we go. Home cooking or fast food? Packing your own lunch for every road trip or eat fast food before every away game? Before every away game?
Before?
No.
Or just like...
this says before, and I'm kind of like...
I don't think you should eat anything at home or...
No, you shouldn't.
We're going to say just, okay. As a kid, we didn't ever eat out unless we were occasionally on like doing an event or something. We never ate out. Part of it was there was 7 of us.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just what it was. So as a kid, I would have rather had the fast food.
Yeah.
As an adult, I would so much rather pack something.
Yeah. And the thing is, when it comes to this kind of stuff, that you're eating after, you're not usually eating. The only time you would eat before is if you got a really long road trip for a game. And I've done that when I was in high school. We had long, like 7-hour road trips, and so we would go, but we would have a very strict, this is what you're eating.
You can have a sandwich, but
or we're going to have something that's, it's not going to, did you ever have any pre-game food superstitions though?
Me?
Yeah. Or is there anything that you would do before?
The only thing that I ever cared about or had any kind of anything to do with was when in high school, on the track and field team, I always tried to eat some kind of pasta or something that was high carb the night before our meet. Simply because anybody who knows track knows that a track meet is an 8-hour event, and I was not going to eat something that day. I was always really nervous. I was always like, my stomach was always upset. And that's just my own personal problem, but I never ate those days. Other than my dad might hand me a Snickers 10 minutes before I did a sprint. But yeah, I did not eat those days.
Yep.
And so having that carb load up the night before was super important. Yep. But as far as like anything else, no.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Next one. Leave at 4:30 a.m. for an all-day tournament or not get home until 2 a.m. after a playoff game.
Depends on what I'm doing. Track and field, I'd rather get up and get it done with. But like a big basketball game, I would rather do the evening.
Okay.
So it depends on the sport.
We kind of had to do both in high school. I know at least for football, sometimes would have to leave 5, 6 in the morning. And sometimes we didn't get back till like 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
On the way back. And that was an all day thing. We would have to get up early Friday morning, get on the bus. And luckily, it wasn't a yellow dog bus. We were on a cruiser, but still, you're driving 7 hours to a game. Then, yeah.
I mean, obviously we went from school to school, but none of our schools were more than an hour away.
Yeah, just because how things in the geography of our area, that's how it worked. But yeah, so you're saying late night playoff game, and being if it's a playoff game, then yeah, because hopefully that means that you're coming home with a win,
right?
And the fact that you're getting to play in the playoffs,
yeah. Well, and again, I'm weird, but even as a kid, I never slept on the bus ever. I cannot sleep in a moving vehicle. I've never been able to.
Yeah.
And so it really didn't matter. I mean, I would be the only one awake, and you'd have the runner lights on in the bus, and you'd get back to the parking lot where your parents would pick you up. And I guess it didn't really matter to me if it was 4 a.m. that I was the only one awake, or
right,
or 2 at night when I was the only one awake.
Okay.
Besides the bus driver,
right.
Hopefully.
Okay, number 4. Perfect weather or perfect opponent. So play in the perfect weather or face an opponent with the perfectly matches your team's skill level.
If it's outdoors, the perfect weather. If it's indoors, then sure, the more competitive game would be funner. But
being competitive, I would like to know how I matched up, because it comes down to, if we're equally matched as far as talent wise, it's going to come down to the mental aspect of it.
Yeah,
and how well coaches prepare you for the game.
I get that, but like, tell me you've never ran in a track meet in Gilchrist or Lapine without telling me you've never ran a track meet in Gilchrist.
Well, and I get that, because the way track falls,
you could be running in a blizzard or a heat wave all in the same week.
Yeah.
Or the wind
the wind. Yeah. And I get that, especially, when you're sports in the springtime, because you never know. And it's always like that. So in spring sports, especially, because that's when weather gets really unpredictable. All right. Would you rather sit next to the funniest teammate on the bus or sit next to a teammate who always controls the music?
I was the funniest one. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Again, I got on the bus and I sat there and I didn't really care. I wasn't like...
It doesn't matter. You have to choose one or the other. Okay, come on. You gotta choose
the music, because then maybe I could have a say in what's going on.
Yeah, this person always has control.
Well, they can have control, but...
And it's not going to matter what the music is.
They could listen to me. I could be like, ooh, you know what song's good?
Yeah, but let's say they're strictly into disco.
It's my answer. Ew.
Well, I'm just saying, they always...
let them control it.
I'm just saying, you sit next to the teammate who always has control of music, and let's say it's straight up disco or polka or... I don't know, whatever is it, obnoxious music's out there right now. Well, I'm just saying that's the thing. I
do like to laugh. I do. But some people aren't as funny as they think they are.
But they're supposedly the funniest teammates. So I think I can handle it. Why are you
telling me how I can answer this?
I'm not. But all I'm just saying that you're trying to be very neutral and like, well, if it was this or this, no.
I gave you my answer. I'm sticking with it.
Okay. All right. Who on your team would those people be? Let's see here. Every away game or every home game. Would you rather play every game on the road or never leave home, field, or gym all season? Seems kind of silly. What's your thoughts on that?
Home field advantage is a thing.
Yeah.
And home crowd is a thing. And not having to get home at 2 a.m. is a thing. So
yeah.
That's a dumb question.
Yeah, it is dumb.
I'd rather stay home, make them come to me.
All right. Last one, then I'll be done with these. All right. Would you rather win a state championship after traveling hundreds of miles all season, or win one while never leaving your hometown? That's kind of the same question.
Yeah.
I'm not going to answer. You don't have to answer that one. Okay, let's do this one. Ride with your parents to every game or ride with your team on the bus? I
would have and my previous answers might make people think that I was like on the bus. I would have rather rode with my teammates on the bus to the game. Coming home, hell yeah. Put me in my parents' car. I get home faster.
Yeah.
But going to the game, I think that if you are all arriving in your own vehicles, and then trying to sync without that hour bus ride and just that your whole thought process on the way there is this is what we're going to do, versus if you're sitting in the car by yourself. Like, yeah, I would rather ride the bus.
All right, lightning round. Okay, answer as fast as possible.
Okay.
Window seat, aisle seat.
Aisle seat. Simply because I get car sick all the time.
Yeah. Bus karaoke or complete silence?
Silence.
Okay. Rest stop snacks or homemade snacks? Quick.
Rest stop.
Okay. Hotel breakfast or local diner?
Local diner.
Small town gym or giant arena?
Small town gym.
music or podcast on the drive?
Well, when I was growing up, we didn't have the podcast.
Let's say you're a coach and you're with your team.
Okay, so I do, like when we go to track meets and stuff, as long as the kids are leaving me alone, which isn't very often, I will like put on like a book or something.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe podcast.
Okay. All right. That's it. Now we're moving on to mascot of the week.
All right. That's why I'm here.
Okay. All right. We're headed to Shreveport, Louisiana.
Okay.
And the college, we're doing a college this week, Centenary College.
Centenary?
Yep. Centenary. Okay. When you hear college mascots, we've talked about unique ones before, but we've also talked about, your normal ones, bulldogs, tigers, eagles, wildcats, right? Okay. Pirates, whatever, something that's relatively normal, or at least in the mascot world of sports.
Normal at all compared to where they're at, but.
Okay. This one is recognized by the NCAA as one of the most unique college mascot names. Okay. So first of all, let's talk about what we got going on here. Okay. It is a small school, but it's still NCAA affiliated. It was founded in 1825, oldest chartered liberal college west of the Mississippi, private liberal arts college affiliated with the United Methodist Church. Campus size is 117 acres. Enrollment's around 700 students.
Whoa.
It is the smallest.
That is tiny.
Yeah, it is one of the smallest student bodies among NCAA schools in Louisiana. Wow. And here's the story behind what they get called. Okay. In 1921, the football team had developed a reputation for playing a little too rough, including getting into fights. Before the next game, the president, then George Sexton, reportedly gathered the players together and told them, from now on, you will act like gentlemen. The name stuck. The students embraced it. In the following years, the football team was simply known as the Gentlemen or the Gents. When women's varsity athletics expanded and came into play, they were known as the Ladies. So one of the few schools in America where your mascot isn't an animal or an object, we have the Gentlemen and Ladies.
I like it.
As your mascots. The school.
Very gallant.
Very gallant, yes. This charter school, like I said, nearly 200 years old. It's one of the smallest NCAA colleges out there.
I'm assuming it's because it's Lutheran, it's private.
Or Methodist? Yeah. I'm sorry. No, it's Methodist. I think it's Methodist. Anyway, it's United Methodist. So it is, it's a private school. It's very strong student athlete culture is there. And they did move from Division 1 to Division 3. I think a lot of it because of the size and the cost and all that stuff. And it matched up with their mission and their financial goals. And they did this in like 2012. So it wasn't too long ago when they did.
So I wonder if they do, like, if they're always doing plays on the ladies and gentlemen, like if they always, if they do that or if they specifically choose not to do that.
I don't know. Yeah, no, it's very interesting. So they're part of the Southern Collegiate Athletic Conference, the SCAC. One interesting fact is the women's gymnastics. They do still compete in Division 1 with a limited number of gymnastic programs nationwide.
Makes sense.
They have sports. They have baseball, basketball, cross country, football, golf, lacrosse, soccer, swimming, tennis, and track and field. That's for men's, and volleyball. For women's, basketball, cross country, golf, gymnastics, soccer, softball, swimming, tennis, track and field, and volleyball. A
lot of individual sports.
Yes. Yep. And that makes kind of say you got 700 people there. So program has discontinued. We see Century once fielded one of the better football programs in the South. The program was discontinued after 1941 season due to World War II. It returned in 2023, ending 80 years without a varsity team.
Wow.
Famous athlete that came out of there, and you might not know who this person is, but I do. Robert Parrish. He was a center for the Boston Celtics with Larry Bird, Kevin McHale. Was a really good center, 4-time NBA champion, Hall of Famer. Well, 4-time champion. And in the Hall of Fame, was a member of the 80s, was one of the NBA's 50 greatest players during the 75. Robert Parrish was really cool.
The name sounds kind of familiar, but I don't know if I would have put him with.
Yeah. But he was a solid player. So yeah, that's it. The ladies and gentlemen.
I like it.
Yeah. So, all right. I'd like to thank everybody for being on this week's episode and listening. We will be on the road this week.
Tell us how many of those venues you've been to.
Yeah. If you've been to any of these venues, please let us know. If you've been to any of the venues that we've talked about, you can shoot a email to us, a text, anything like that. So
put a comment on the video.
Put a comment. Yeah. Anything. Just look at the link for how to get hold of us. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.